You may now begin your presentation.
The environment is facing two major crises. In Canada, over 2.9 million tons of potatoes are wasted each year due to grocer cosmetic standards, oversupply, and general market inefficiencies. Not only is this food unnecessarily thrown away, but it produces harmful methane while rotting, hurting the environment in the process.
On the other hand, only 9% of plastic is ever recycled, leaving the rest to amass in growing landfills. Even if this percentage were to increase, 90% of the greenhouse gas emissions generated by plastic take place at the start of production with oil extraction. Combined, the environmental damage amounts to 3.6 million tons of emissions in Canada every year.
At Enactus TMU, we saw the opportunity to create a material with the properties of plastic that could address both crises at once. Using our academic backgrounds in chemistry and biology, we took to the lab and started experimenting. Our goal was to turn these wasted potatoes into new possibilities.
This year, our members spent over 1,200 hours, consulted with TMU's Faculty of Chemistry, and continued to iterate on end until we eventually developed a solution. We are incredibly proud to present Terra, the starch polymer of tomorrow, a completely biodegradable alternative to plastic based on wasted potatoes.
The innovation behind Terra is its production methodology. It can be broken down into 4 steps: extract, gelatinize, modify, and form. First, to repurpose the wasted potatoes from farms, we extract their starch. This is done by grating, then soaking, washing, and drying them to isolate the starch. The starch and a few other key components are combined to form a mixture.
The mixture is then gelatinized by exposure to high temperatures of up to 75 degrees Celsius, which is required for chemical cross-linking. This gives the product its base structure. For modification, we've explored a wide array of natural proprietary additives, allowing us to control 3 key areas of polymer properties: mechanical, thermal, and optical.
These additives give us control over the commercially significant features of the final product, such as water and heat resistance, tensile strength, and shelf stability. Finally, the polymer is formed using one of 2 main methods: injection molding and 3D printing.
Injection molding offers efficiency and precision for mass production. This is ideal for creating standardized components with consistent quality. 3D printing unlocks flexibility and customization, enabling us to produce individualized designs.
According to our current estimates, the total greenhouse gas emissions to produce 1 square foot of Terra is nearly 120 times less than those generated by plastic. And instead of taking 450 years to break down in our oceans, our polymer biodegrades in as little as 2 weeks.
The current cost to produce this quantity is a mere 16 cents, and at scale, we project this number can be reduced even further. In its final form, Terra can be used to manufacture consumer products with a B2C model or subcomponents for partner businesses in a B2B model.
Instead of asking you to use your imagination, we'd like to introduce the Good Pod, our first B2C proof of concept. In Canada alone, over 936 tons of PVA plastic from detergent pods enter waterways each year.
The Good Pod is a fully biodegradable alternative to plastic detergent pods, making laundry eco-friendly and PVA-free. Priced at $14.95 per package, it's a whole $10 cheaper than market leaders. Each package contains 96 pods and costs $8.70 to produce, resulting in a profit margin of 42%.
This price was selected based on both primary and secondary market research on consumers' price sensitivities and competing alternatives. It only takes 2 potatoes to make 1 package of 96 pods. Potatoes are the second cheapest wasted produce to buy in bulk, which is a main driver of cost savings.
Each package of the Good Pod is secured in eco-friendly, biodegradable packaging, deliberately sourced from a local supplier that aligns with our commitment to sustainability. Our go-to-market plan involves 3 stages.
First, by selling directly to TMU students and their families, our customer acquisition cost is minimized. Even in the rare event of minor defects in the polymer, our laundry pod use case provides an effective overall mitigation of risk. Campus-wide interviews and surveys revealed that 95% of respondents are interested in purchasing the Good Pod, while 90% are willing to permanently switch from their current laundry product.
Respondents prioritized effectiveness, price, and eco-friendliness when deciding to switch. Let's hear from Matthew, a student at TMU.
Yeah, so I'm a student, and I think coming with that, we're a little more budget conscious, right? And there's a sustainability piece to this too. It's very environmentally friendly, and really it hits both of those boxes for me. That being said, I'm looking forward to how this develops, and I've signed up for the newsletter.
Based on the results of this survey, we forecast sales of up to 447 packages of the Good Pod in the next 3 months. And this is based on the steps we're taking right now to scale up production and print large-scale industrial molds.
To print these molds, we're collaborating with TMU's Science Discovery Zone, leveraging their state-of-the-art resources and equipment. Once these molds are printed, we enter the second stage.
At this point, we plan to expand our reach beyond TMU, introducing the Good Pod across Canada through direct-to-consumer e-commerce. Our existing website and social media platforms have already reached 912 interested customers.
Finally, the third stage will place our product on retailers' shelves. Due to the proven traction in direct-to-consumer sales, we'll be well-positioned to showcase national demand to retailers.
Our process will be refined to the point of mass production, equipping us with actionable e-commerce data to select strategic store locations. Using our patent-pending production method, creating a batch of polymer is a straightforward process.
Knowing this, we've identified Terra as a promising avenue to address the need for flexible, well-compensated employment in Canada. As our sales increase, we plan to build on our existing relationship with the Canadian Centre for Victims of Torture, employing their participants. They have been the main collaborators on another Enactus TMU project for over a year.
Participants will be compensated at Toronto's livable hourly rate of $25.05. This is the wage factored into our earlier margin calculation of 42%. And throughout this process, we'll remain committed to the use of strict confidentiality measures, such as non-disclosure agreements, until our patent is granted.
After starch extractions, potatoes retain their nutrients and original taste. To prevent the produce waste we originally set out to reduce, there are various routes available to repurpose them. One example would be donating these starchless potatoes to breakfast programs at local schools, supporting the nutritional needs of children in our community.
As a B2B alternative proof of concept, we are actively engaged in discussions with Eat Impact, a Toronto-based startup that delivers farmer-grown produce boxes to customers. Seeing as all Terra components are food safe, they're looking to use our product as an alternative to the plastic bags in their produce boxes.
Eat Impact delivers over 1,000 boxes every week and uses 4 plastic bags per box. The agreement and negotiation would eventually replace these 4,000 weekly bags with Terra. We would gradually increase the number of bags we provide in stages as we refine our processes to sustainably handle demand.
This would secure a minimum weekly order of Terra equivalent to 8,000 square feet. By pricing our product at 18 cents per square foot, we preserve a margin of 11%. This is enough to generate $1,440 in weekly recurring revenue.
The alternative to Terra is for Eat Impact to purchase compostable bags, but they have found these to be too thin and too weak to protect their produce and maintain their standard of quality. Our product ensures they remain eco-friendly, all while maintaining that quality.
This represents the implementation of our business model canvas and its intended product market fit. Eat Impact belongs to our early adopter segment, ideally as a startup with an eco-conscious focus and willingness to prototype.
Moving forward, we're seeking partners who share similar values, but have even more niche use cases. This will allow our unique value proposition of modification to shine. Through Terra, we have identified a social, environmental, and commercial need and effectively capitalized on it.
And this is just one of the 4 impactful projects Enactus TMU has operated this year.
Our financial literacy project has educated over 1,400 post-secondary students through 30 workshops. Students saved an astounding $126,000.
Our entrepreneurship project has supported local startups by awarding $50,000 in funding. Our idea consultation program has fostered the creation of 3 new businesses.
And our Women Empowerment Project has directly supported 49 women, awarding $500 and creating 5 businesses along the way.
And these numbers are part of a larger story.
A story about reimagining the production of plastic while tackling produce waste.
Reducing financial anxiety in a turbulent economy.
Fueling the business leaders of tomorrow.
And creating equal opportunities for women in entrepreneurship.
For everyone, everywhere, we are
Enactus TMU.
We will now begin the question and answer period. Judges, please raise your hand to indicate you have a question, and a microphone will be brought to you. When asking your question, please stand if you are able.
Okay. Congratulations. A question is, have you looked at, from a global point of view, which countries, which areas have similar potato waste, I guess? Or do you have other source to offset in other markets?
Thank you for your question. That's a fantastic point. So we have looked at other markets that are still within the region of North America, namely the US, and they do have similar numbers in terms of potato waste, but there are particular advantages in Canada where there's an established supply chain for wasted potatoes. They're used as well as potato seeds, as potato chips, and so we're not asking farmers to develop these entirely new processes to suit and be convenient for our product that already exists as part of the supply chain. And again, potatoes are the second cheapest produce to buy in bulk here, and those cost differences are different because of the amount of potatoes that are produced in the US. So we have better cost savings doing it here. And lastly, as part of our go-to-market plan, it's easier to basically source where we have relationships and start selling into our local community. Thank you for the question.
Hi there. Can you clarify? You said that it's only 2 weeks to biodegrade the product. So how do you ensure shelf life of your product?
Thank you very much. So we actually have a very particular blend that's part of our unique value proposition of modification that allows very strong shelf stability while still being able to biodegrade in specific conditions. In this case, the conditions that we've tested are in waterways. We know that the polymer will end up in waterways because it's being used as part of laundry. And so we know that our blend for that purpose will biodegrade within 2 weeks. Depending on different use cases, we can, again, modify our blend so that it biodegrades in other specific conditions, whether it's just in the ground or elsewhere. Thank you for the question.
Just to build on Franca's question on the shelf stability, I understand the biodegradability of the product after the use of it, but what about leading up to the usage of it? How does your shelf stability compare to other products?
Thank you very much for the question. So the shelf stability, so again, biodegradation of 2 weeks in waterways are equivalent in terms of shelf life is 1.5 years. So that's what that blend is capable of doing. We look at usually at least a minimum of 6 months of shelf life, no matter the conditions of degradation. At 6 months, it can biodegrade in as little as 2 days, again, depending on conditions. So compared to traditional products, that is quite competitive.
Thank you for an excellent presentation, first of all. I think one of the most compelling points that you have in your favor is the economics of the project. I mean, it's the profit margins are crazy good on this. And I guess that led me to wonder, if it is that good, why hasn't anyone done this before? Do you have any evidence or research into whether some of the majors have already looked into doing this and have failed, or is it just that they haven't tried, or do you have any insights on that?
Thanks so much for the question. So there are many layers to it. One of them, off the top of my head, is basically the cost savings from the potatoes. In terms of reasons why it hasn't been tried, it's because the polymer is made with entirely natural inputs. Most things that are looked at large-scale commercial rely on really heavy chemical complex use and application. So in our case, everything that's in that polymer, as the potatoes as well as the additional ingredients, are completely natural. That's also key to the biodegradation. So we learned about the problem. We also think that's unique as our approach and how we were able to find that problem statement, because our project existed in 2019 as a project to address food insecurity. And so we started working with farms and repurposing wasted potatoes from that point forward. That's where we got a really in-depth understanding of the problem and, to your point, the economic opportunity in terms of those cost savings. And so I think it's a combination of our approach that's led also to capitalization on the natural ingredients. Thank you.
Hi there. I think I'd echo the sentiments of many judges. It sounds like you have an incredibly bright future, and congratulations on the innovation. I just wanted to be clear, if you could clarify for us, to date, what are your sales volumes like? You know, exactly revenue generation and things. What have you managed to do so far?
Thank you so much for the question. So because we're looking at a product launch in the next month, or by the end of this month, we have sales basically that are flat at the moment. However, those 912 interested customers, we have direct access through e-commerce channels, email newsletters and marketing, and social media. And so we're really in a position to capitalize instantly as soon as that product launch happens on those 447 packages we're forecasting in the next 3 months.
Your time has expired.
Thank you.
Judges and
Thank you.
guests, please help me in thanking the team from Toronto Metropolitan University. Judges, we ask that you please stay in your seats as the next team's presentation will begin momentarily.